Okay, so first step, make sure you have a very sharp knife. These are bluegills. They get a little bit slimy, so I usually rinse them off before I start. And I hold them down with a towel so they don't slip. You're going to start at the top of the head and come down under the fin. You can go through the fin, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need it anymore. You're going to take the knife and go in about this far along the spine. And with your knife, you should be able to feel the bone, and you just kind of ride along the bone. When you get to about this point, go all the way through, down to the bottom, and then you're going to ride along the bones to the tail. Come around, up along the belly. Don't go in too deep. I'm only going in about that deep, so you're not getting all the guts. If you nick the guts, it's going to smell. Do it this way, you're not going to have a bunch of smell. Okay, now I use the towel to kind of get a grip. It also keeps the fish, if they're still alive, from stabbing you with the fins. You kind of get a grip, and you can see where the bones are, and you're just going to lightly go along here until you feel the top of the ribs. Pulling away with your fingers as you get that meat away from the bones. Sometimes it sticks a little bit here, you want to cut a little deeper. Now I'm at the top of the ribs and I can feel the top of the ribs with the knife. So I'm going to come in and take the side and just ride along the ribs and get as much meat as I can. Sometimes you're going to cut a little bit of the rib, and that's okay. Okay, so now I've got that pulled apart, and you can see we've got the ribs, the spinal bones. You don't want any of those. You're taking that knife and going right on the other side of them. Now you're going to hold down, I usually use a fingernail, to the skin. Take that knife on its side, flat, and go all the way across. You can see how that's separated. I kind of lost my grip. All the way down. Just like that. Toss that out. Now rinse. And as you're rinsing, you want to feel for the bones. I try to keep my cutting board real clean because I don't want to contaminate the meat with any of that. So before I cut out the extra little bones that I cut into the fillet, I'm going to rinse it. Okay. You're going to get a couple of little bones up in this area. So I usually just go in like this, cut those out. You can feel them. The rest of it is bone free. This little piece from the top by the fin ends up being a little chewy when you cook it, so I tend to cut that off. Make sure they're really well rinsed. Set that aside. Okay, now you go to the other side. Same thing. I use the towel to hold it down. I'm going to go along here. Cut in. Bluegills and crappies have a lot of scales. You just got to look for those. They're going to pop out all over the place. And down. Now, because I'm right-handed, when I do this other side, I do the belly first, and then I go the opposite direction on the spine. Okay, same deal. I get to this point, I'm going to go all the way across. I can feel the bone with the knife. I'm going to ride along those bones, and then I'm going to start with that little, not even a quarter of an inch space. It's more like about a 1/16 of an inch along the spine. You can feel it. If you accidentally pull in a couple of bones from the spine, you can just cut them out. Come down until you feel the top of the rib. Separate this meat down here, and then just cut along that curvature of the rib. You can see a couple little bones are cut. You can even see it there, right there. And once you separate it from the skin, you just cut that out. Okay. So that's what you got left. One more time, just so you can see it done. You're gonna grab, like with a fingernail tip of your finger, the end of that skin. Hold it down. Ride the knife right there along the skin. Do that. Rinse so you don't contaminate the meat. That really could just be me being overcautious, but I don't know that there's any scientific reason for that. Rinse. Okay, now I can feel the bone, and it's going to be right in there at the end of where the ribs were. And you're just going to cut that piece out. Just like that, and you're good to go. You've got a nice little bluegill fillet.